All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tech Tuesday at 8 a.m. And this is going out live on LinkedIn, and then the recording will be funneled out on my YouTube channel, which I thank everybody for joining. Give me great support. How y'all doing this morning? I love this topic. I'm very passionate about this. And for those of you who don't know, my name is Frank Crandall. I'm a realtor here in Sacramento, California. And my previous background is FedEx, UPS. And then in 2003, got my real estate license. And I went to work for Keller Williams right away. And I was with them for 11 years. And then I was with Remax for 5. And now I'm with EXP Real Estate. So things are very interesting. I can tell you that. Right, Chris? Very interesting. So our topic today is about distractions and what's keeping you from moving on in life. Now, I have to do a disclaimer that this is just my opinion and my opinion only. You may agree, you may disagree, you may object, but this is just my opinion. Now, this comes from years of experience, and as I get on in life, I'm learning that I have less patience and I have to love people where they are, and I understand that. Okay. But I've written down a few things that what keeps people moving on in life. And I'm not going to say that the first one that I say is the most important one, but these are some of the things that are really holding people back. Okay. Number one is themselves. That's first and foremost. Low self-esteem issues, not looking the way you want to look. And that's all mindset stuff. Okay. I struggle with that myself big time. I didn't want my picture taken for the longest time. I didn't want to do videos because the way that I looked. Okay. But I'm seeing people out there that look all kinds of ways, and they're having a lot of success in whatever their venture is in life. Okay. So number one is yourself. You have to go to, I saw this meme the other day. It says you have to go to war with the person in the mirror. And that's a very, very tough thing. Okay. That's a very tough thing. So the next thing is the news. How many of you get trapped into the news rabbit hole? I have. And every one of these things that I'm going to announce today is I am so guilty of. So I just don't want you to think you're the only one, because I've done this before many times. Okay. But let me get back to the news. Some of you are, this world is pretty crazy with everything that's going on. And we have to pay attention to the news, but not 24/7. Okay. If you enjoy the news, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, depending, how much you want to take in. But I know people that spend 24 hours a day that have CNN, Fox, MSNBC on in the background all. And if you listen to the news lately, it's not very pleasant with everything that's going on. Not very pleasant. So what I suggest you do is that if you want to keep up with what's going on in the world, limit your time. Watch it for an hour, watch it for 30 minutes, because I'm telling you guys, after 30 minutes to an hour, they just keep repeating the same story over and over and over again. And it's to get ratings. All right. So news is a big thing. The next one, oh, my favorite, social media. Now, remember when I told you I'm guilty of all these things? This is probably my worst downfall. Have you ever, and this is just me, I've gone on to the TikTok app, and 3 hours later, I'm still on TikTok. Okay. And finally, after a while, I go, what the heck am I doing? You go down this rabbit hole and it's just, you can't come out. Now, I have to be honest with you. Social media is a catch-22. It's a necessary evil, that I know a lot of real estate people, they promote themselves on social media, and I understand it because I do myself. Okay. If you see a guy on your Zoom, Chris, he's my VA in the Philippines, and he handles all that stuff because I don't know what to do with that social media. I don't know how it's implemented, how it's installed, but he takes care of all that for me. And we do use it for real estate purposes. Now, I don't know what your preference is. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of the apps. And I'm learning more apps all the time. But after a while, do you ever catch yourself looking at a Facebook or looking at a social media and go, now I know what everybody's talking about? Because there are people who will post 8 to 10 posts a day. Okay. Now, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that I think you could spend more time doing something productive than posting on social media all the time. Yeah, I know all the gurus say you need to post 3 to 5 times a day. Yeah, I get all that. But after a while, I'm telling you, social media has sucked us all in. It has. It has sucked me in. It has sucked everybody. And, some people go crazy with Amazon, especially ordering. That's fine. If that's the way you want to shop, that's great. But like I said, have you ever looked at a Facebook post and go, what the heck are they talking about? Or have you noticed social media lately? You just don't know if people are promoting for their OnlyFans. I know I hear a chuckle, but first of all, I'm too old and ugly to be on the OnlyFans. So, but if that's the direction you want to go, that's great. But man, I'll tell you, this is crazy. The social media stuff. Like I said, I turned on TikTok one time, and 3 hours later, I was still on TikTok, and I went, "Oh my God, this is addicting. It really, really is." So, social media is another one. Okay. And like I said, this is no particular order. How about your marriage? Is it distracting you from getting what you want done in your business and your life and your personal interest? For a lot of people, yeah. Okay. And I am not an expert on marriage. I am not. But sooner or later, you got to have peace in the house. And if you don't have peace in the house, then you'll never be able to move on. Now, I know a lot of people who they've been married for a long time and they are miserable. It's not worth it. It really isn't. Okay. I'm not saying to get a divorce. I'm not saying that at all, but you got to live your life. And the reason why is because you don't know how much time you have left on this earth. And you got to be happy. Got to be. Go find it. Do whatever you need to do to be happy. But I hope you're with your spouse and your partner and you're just happy. Okay, now for the big one. Here it comes, kids. I know there are some parents out there who are really struggling with their kids. And I'll tell you, nowadays, kids growing up in the social media world and having the best of everything, it is definitely peer pressure. It really, really is. Okay. Mary and I raised our 2 boys, and we know exactly what that means. Everybody raises their kid different, and that's their own prerogative. That's fine. Okay. But kids, and the only thing I'm gonna say is be a parent and not a best friend. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. Be a parent and not a best friend. And it's really something that, when you're growing up and you'll say to yourself, well, when I grow up, I'm not going to be like my parents. But what are the chances now you catch yourself going, oh my God, I sound just like my parents? It changes. It really does. My mom would holler at me about, Frankie, make sure you turn the lights off. Okay. Now I'm saying that. I go around the house and I make sure all the lights are off, and I'm just like my mom, okay? Or close the door. My father would always say, you're born in a, they leave it open. I say the same thing. So, kids it's a tough job. It really is, with school, finances, unpredictable school schedules. I'm worried about your kids being at home while you're working and they got the run of the house. That's a tough one. Okay. I am not going to give solutions. I'm just pointing out the obvious. kids are a very tough challenge of why you're not moving on. And then if your kid does something wrong, you feel like a failure and a loser because you didn't think you did things right for this kid to act the way they did. And there's that self-esteem coming back into you. Okay. How about your job? Are you so unfulfilled in your job that it's causing you low self-esteem that you're beating your head against the wall and the door and you're just not getting ahead? Okay. This is where the intestinal fortitude comes through. This is where you have to go back to books and yes tapes or listening to motivational music or whatever. I love going to the gym and I listen to podcasts. I used to listen to music all the time because music has been in my life all my 68 years. Okay. But I love to get into podcasts and listening to other people struggle because it makes me feel like I'm not alone. But kids and job is a real tough one. Now let's go to this one. How about your family? Okay. And I'm talking about brothers, sisters, mom, and dads. You know the old saying, you cannot pick your family, and you don't. And sometimes family is best loved from afar. Have you guys ever heard of that? If you have any siblings that you have challenges with, you'll understand that. Love them from afar. That's my way of self-recovery. Okay. Families are tough. I mean, you see the rise in domestic violence, crimes, and you hear about all these things on social media about families not getting along at parties. And it just, well, I don't have to tell you guys because you guys experience all that. Okay. So, recap really quick: yourself, news, social media, marriage, kids, job, your family. And let's talk about the most important one, I think, is that you're scared. You're scared to move on. Believe me, I've struggled with this for a long. And there are times I catch myself now where I'm scared to move on. That can mean anything. That can take in a promotion. Okay. That's go out and getting a part-time job. That's picking up that phone and making a phone call. That's going and knocking on that door. Okay. That means, going out to the gym because you don't like the way you look in front of other people. Let me tell you something. I have my favorite t-shirt when I go to the gym because I always get complimented on it. It's my favorite quote. It says, oh gosh, having a senior moment here. Nobody cares. Work harder. It's my favorite quote. And whenever I go to the gym, I get about 4 or 5 people and they go, nice shirt. Okay. Trust me, folks, if you're scared, nobody cares. I have failed so many times in my life. I have failed more than I've won in life. And that's really the secret to success. I have failed more than I've succeeded. And that is tough for one person to take because constant failures, time after time after time, it wears on you. It absolutely wears on you. And you will see that little wins every day creates that momentum that you need to have to get your self-esteem back and get over that being scared. Okay, guys, this is a really short Zoom today. Okay, but I'm just giving you the things that is keeping you back. So I'm going to open up real quick. Does anybody have any questions? I understand. I get it. Or if they don't want to speak, they can put it in the chat. It's not a big deal. This is being taped. This is being recorded. Okay. So if you want, you will get this. Chris can send this out to you. But I only want to take about 20 minutes this morning and talk about some of the things that I struggle with. And again, self-esteem, the news, social media, marriage, kids, job, family, and being scared. God, how do you overcome all this? Some of you don't have anybody to talk to. It took a long time for me to reach out to somebody and go, dude, I'm failing. I just need to run certain things by you. And I only called people that I highly, highly respected, who I know would tell me the truth about myself. Okay. Those conversations are not easy to have because what they do is they tell you your weaknesses. Oh man, I don't want anybody telling me my weakness. No, I want people to tell my strengths, but you got to address some of the weaknesses that is holding you back. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm going to end the Zoom call, and I hope you all have a great week and a great day. And I thank you for joining me on this, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.